Most people preparing for quant interviews are focusing on the complete wrong things. They grind out probability, brain teasers, and green book for months, and still end up getting rejected. This is because quant interviews aren't actually testing what you think they are. From experience on both sides of the interview process, there's a pattern behind every interview stage, but almost nobody notices it. In this video, we'll break down every stage of the quant interview process, what they are actually testing, and where most people fall short. Online assessments are exactly that, assessments that you complete online. Who would have thought? Online assessments are typically the first thing you encounter in a quant interview process, and they come in several different forms. Mental math OAs typically require you to answer quick but simple mental math questions in a short period of time. The most known example of this is the Optiva 80 in 8 assessment, which requires you to solve 80 mental math questions in 8 minutes. To finish this assessment, you have to complete one question every 6 seconds. This tests your ability to stay locked in for long periods of time. Most people end up failing this round because they rush through questions and sacrifice accuracy for speed. Essentially, you're given a sequence of characters, which are typically numbers, and you must complete the final character of the sequence. Acuna Capital has a sequence test, but doesn't just involve abstract number sequences, but also letters and strings of letters. Most fails happen due to a lack of preparation. If you practice enough sequence questions, you should have no problems here. You will have to solve relatively simple probability questions involving topics such as expected values and conditionals. This is just screening your understanding and application of basic probability concepts. An example of this is Optiva's Beat the Odds test, which tests anywhere from expected value, binomial distributions, conditional probability, combinatorics, and total expectations. Again, these questions are easily passable with enough practice. These are one-way live interviews where you record yourself answering behavioral and technical questions. It's essentially like an interview, except you're just alone. Aspiring quants usually mess these up by not communicating effectively. Mixed tests are the most common form of online assessment. They test a range of different topics, such as logic, geometry, algebra, mental math, and probability. An example of this is Susquehanna's online assessment, typically comprising of 12 to 14 quick questions and 2 harder questions at the end. You will speak to a graduate trader in a face-to-face, phone, or Zoom interview. Finally, we get some evidence of human life. Here you will be assessed on many things at once. One of the most important is your soft skills. This is a non-technical trait which demonstrates your ability to communicate and work with others. It's often regarded as one of the most important character traits because with such high stakes on the line, you want to make sure that you're communicating effectively. Your soft skills will be assessed in both your behavioral and technical interviews, especially when you're walking through technical questions with the interviewer. There are several other character traits that you'll be tested on in your technical interviews, such as how you break down unfamiliar problems, if you can structure your technical approach under pressure, your ability to clarify certain parts of a problem, and if you can make reasonable assumptions quickly. This all leads to one central idea: your decision-making skills under uncertainty. You will of course also be assessed on your technical foundations. This is what most aspiring quants spend at least 90% of their time building, but these skills are essentially useless without the previous skills mentioned. Your technical ability should include probability, statistics, logical reasoning, and the ability to stay accurate with speed. A special mention here is coachability. Make sure you're receptive to any hints or additional information that the interviewer gives you. Since they probably, and when I say probably, I mean definitely, know more than you at this point in your career, you should always be listening to what they have to say. Here, you are just one step away from getting that sweet victory and bagging the quant role you've been grinding for. At this stage, all candidates are technically strong, communicate well, and can solve difficult problems under uncertainty and pressure. So what separates the good candidates from the GOATs? Final round interviews and Superdays are typically long sessions spanning anywhere from half a day to a full day of intense testing. You may be asked to do back-to-back technical interviews, trading games with other candidates, project deep dives, and more. Throughout the day, you will also be assessed for your cultural fit and communicability with other candidates and traders. Ultimately, the final test is how you perform under long periods of sustained work. You need to demonstrate energy and presence over a long period of time. Consistency over the day is essential to leaving a solid impression to the interviewers that you are fit for the role. The reason why even the most intelligent candidates fail here is because they simply burn out too early in the Superday. On the job, you will need to focus intensely over a full trading day and demonstrate the technical and behavioral abilities explained previously. Quantitative finance recruiting has never been about finding the smartest or most technically proficient candidate. It's how you think when things get uncomfortable, how clearly you can break down a problem you've never seen before, how well you communicate that thinking in real time, how you recover when you make a mistake, and whether you can sustain that level of performance under pressure. This is ultimately where most people fail, not due to intelligence, but because they're simply preparing for the wrong things.